If you ask anyone who the greatest investor of all time is, most people would probably say Warren Buffett. But if you ask me, I would say Mackenzie Bezos. Why? Because she divorced Jeff Bezos in 2021 when Amazon stock was near its all-time high. Now, that's what I call perfect timing. But jokes aside, the real investing legends we all know is 94-year-old billionaire Warren Buffett. There really aren't many investors who've managed to maintain an average annual return of over 20% for more than 4 decades. Recently, Buffett hosted his classic annual Berkshire Hathaway shareholder meeting. It was here that he addressed the most pressing questions on investors' minds today. What would he do now? What should we focus on? How does he see the market correction in 2025? And what does he think about the massive and growing US debt? Buffett spoke for more than 4 hours, and in this video I will summarize the most important insights for you, because let's be honest, most of you didn't sit through the entire thing, but I did, because I have no social life. Before diving into his market outlook, Buffett dropped some huge news. After more than 60 years, he is stepping down as CEO of Berkshire Hathaway. His longtime successor Greg Abel will take over the reins and make all major decisions. Buffett was quick to clarify that he isn't selling a single share of Berkshire, which is good. You can imagine the chaos if he said, "I'm stepping down and selling everything." Still, Berkshire stock dropped about 5% that day. That might seem like a lot, but if you zoom out and look at the past few years, it's just a tiny blip. And honestly, believe, Buffett stepping down won't impact the company in the long run. The transition was expected and Greg Abel seems fully capable. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room, the 2025 market correction, partly triggered by Donald Trump's tariffs. Buffett reminded us that Berkshire stock has dropped by 50% 3 times since he bought it. And guess what? He didn't panic. He understood that volatility is part of the game. This year alone, the stock market fell nearly 18%. And yet, most of that drop had already recovered. The key takeaway? Those who stayed invested are now back to where they started. Buffett emphasized that downturns are a natural part of investing. If you have watched any of my recent videos, you know I've been preaching the same message. Sometimes the market needs to cool off. Nothing grows forever. Declines are healthy, and historically every crash has been followed by even stronger growth. It's been like that for over 100 years. Buffett warned that over the next 20 years, we might see an economic shakeup unlike anything we've experienced before. The world makes big mistakes and surprises come in dramatic fashion. The more complex our systems get, the more unpredictable the crashes become. That's why the stock market is a great place to invest if you have the right mindset. It rewards patience and punishes panic. If you get scared when stocks drop and only get excited when they rise, the market will chew you up. People are emotional and that's okay, but when you invest, you need to leave those emotions at the door. Buffett says if Berkshire stocks fell 50% today, he'll be the first to buy more. That tells you everything you need to know about how he thinks. Just look at the numbers. Since 1987, Berkshire stocks has grown nearly 28,000%. The S&P 500 just over 4,300. That kind of outperformance doesn't happen by accident. It comes from clear, disciplined investing principles. Now let's move on to Trump and the tariffs. A lot of headlines lately have been focused on Donald Trump, and Buffett was asked directly about his take on the current trade situation. His answer? Simple. It's not bad things, just the attitudes it brings out in the United States. We should be looking to trade with the rest of the world and do what we do best, and they should do what they do best. He added that a good world is where every country trades freely. Introducing tariffs is like declaring a silent war on other nations. It sends the wrong message, especially in a world where 8 countries, some unstable have nuclear weapons. Buffett thinks trade should never be used as a weapon. The US has already won by becoming an economic powerhouse in just 250 years. That success came from cooperation, not conflict. Introducing tariffs, in Buffett's view, is like inviting people to a dinner where they have to bring their own food and pay to enter. Eventually, no one shows up. Everyone ends up cooking their own meals from scratch and the whole system collapses. He's clearly against tariffs and wants to see more global collaboration, not less. Next up, the US national debt. Look at this chart. Since 2005, US debt has exploded. Today it's so high that if you had been spending $1 million a day since the birth of Christ, you still wouldn't have spent as much as the current national debt. Buffett says that while inflation hasn't run away just yet, we are playing with fire. It feeds on itself, and once it gets out of control, it's nearly impossible to stop. He said he wouldn't want the job of trying to fix it. Here's why. In 2020, the US government borrowed money at around 1.7%. In 2025, that rate has nearly doubled to 3.2%. That means interest payments are skyrocketing, and when you owe tens of trillions of dollars, those extra interest payments really add up. In fact, the US now spends more on interest payments than on healthcare or even the military. That's insane. Buffett's take, he wouldn't want to be the guy responsible for dealing with that mountain of debt. He also gave some timeless life advice. Despite being one of the richest people on earth, Buffett remains incredibly grounded. He reminded us not to get sucked into all the negativity in the media. Focus on what you can control, stay positive, and keep investing. He also had a few kind words for Apple CEO Tim Cook. Buffett first bought Apple stock in 2016 and sold a large portion of it in 2024, making over $100 billion. He praised Steve Jobs, but especially highlighted Cook's leadership in turning Apple into the cash-generating machine it is today. Then came a question on real estate. Why doesn't Buffett invest in it? He explained that owning real estate often involves multiple stakeholders, which complicates things when problems arise. He prefers stocks because they are easier to manage. His late business partner Charlie Munger enjoyed real estate deals, but even he would have chosen stocks if he had to start over at 21. Buffett closed with a message we all need to hear. If you want to be successful as an investor, you need patience. You need emotional control. The market will always go up and down, but if you stay calm and focused, your money will grow. So here's Buffett's biggest advice for 2025. Stay calm, don't panic, look for opportunities when others are afraid, and always think long term. That's the real secret to building wealth.